In the immortal words of Kurt Cobain, here we are now. Entertain us. I tell you what, that debate last night was lit, as my friend Liv would put it. And it's really great that we're starting to see these debates as pop culture entertainment. Some people may not like that, but really it's everything that is American about politics. Our politics are different. They're more entertaining, and we can either embrace it or complain about it. I'm just going to enjoy the ride. And last night, of course, you had this GOP debate, and Donald Trump once again came out on top, as he nearly always does in these things. And a lot of people go back and forth on Trump's issue positions and all of that kind of stuff, whereas I sit back and I try to study Trump and think about what is it that puts Trump on top, because you think about how can I use this in my life and that sort of thing. So Trump, in my view, is still ahead and has a commanding lead for three reasons. First of all, he stays on message. Second, he doesn't overcomplicate things. And third, he realizes what really matters. So first, he stays on message. Now, if you haven't seen those split screens with Trump and Jeb, people have made compilations of these split screens, and they are hilarious. You can really get every exchange between Trump and Jeb Bush in 2 minutes or less. So if you haven't watched that, go ahead and take a look at it. But there's one time where Jeb is just going off on Trump, and Trump sits there and he just takes it. Now, of course, he's making his little faces. Like, somebody should make a compilation of Trump faces from last night because they're hilarious. He's just like, and that's the thing. So he's making these faces, and he just lets Jeb go on. He just keeps making these funny faces. And then when Jeb's finished, Trump just has one thing to say. He doesn't respond to anything Jeb said, but he leans into the mic and he says, with Jeb's attitude, we'll never be great again. And it's just like, oh my goodness. And that's what you remember. Now, of course, he's staying on message because he has this slogan, make America great again. Say what you want about it, very generic, all of that other stuff. But at the same time, there are times when you can almost hear candidates trying not to say it, because it's just one of those things political candidates would want to say all the time. But that's his message. He stays on message. His campaign is about making America great again. Second of all, Trump avoids overcomplicating things. There were some candidates last night, I think John Kasich was one of them, that used the word analytics. And I'm like, what? Now, of course, I look at analytics every day as a YouTuber when I'm looking at the numbers for my channel. I get all kinds of stuff from YouTube, my website, app sales, all that kind of stuff. And, sure, I know what analytics are, but I don't want to hear about them in a debate. I'm watching the debate for one reason. I'm watching the debate to be entertained. And if I want details, I'll go to your website and I will look for details and I'll want to read stuff. But if I'm sitting in front of a television, you had better entertain me, because I'm not trying to get policy stuff that I could read in a few minutes on your website. And so when people are using big words like analytics, it kind of turns people off. And, I'm certainly not impressed, even though I know what they're talking about. But it's like, no, I want to be entertained. Say something funny. Say something that'll stick with me. Give me a soundbite. All right. And then third, Trump realizes what matters in politics. And when you look at political coverage of a presidential race, what gets reported more than anything else is the horse race. All right. They call this horse race journalism because it's basically a poll came out today. This person's on top, followed by this one, and this one. And Trump knows the importance of this, of coming out on top in the polls. And you hear him say this all the time. Trump came over here to a rally and I went to it. And I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was quite a spectacle. But he's talking about this, and half of his speech was polls. And the thing is that he understands that in politics, if you have the lead, that is what's important. More important than anything else. And there's another time when Jeb was going off on Trump and they were going back and forth and all of that kind of stuff. And Jeb said, you can't insult your way to the presidency. And this time Trump interrupts him. He says, Jeb, I'm at 42. You're at 3. I must be doing something better than you. And it's just like, oh, there was all kinds of applause and that sort of thing. And Trump wasn't necessarily the most popular guy with the crowd there, but it's just so much rancor from the crowd when he said that, because it's like, oh my goodness, that whatever Jeb just said, whatever it was, it doesn't matter. Everybody's forgotten because Trump reminded him, look, Jeb, I'm more popular than you. I'm about 15 times more popular than you. So watch the way that you speak to me and about me, because what really matters is who's winning. And that's really the takeaway point. So because Trump stays on message, he doesn't overcomplicate things, and he knows what truly matters, and that's the polls. That's why Trump did so well in last night's debate. And no matter what your politics are and what your opinions are of Trump's pronouncements and all the things that he's saying and all that kind of stuff, Trump has undeniably been effective, and there's stuff that we can learn from him and apply to our own lives as we try to make something of ourselves and try to win at life every once in a while. So anyway, that's about that. Until the next drive.